This is an entry at 1.7 million rand. And when you look at the minimum requirements, you will notice that they want a minimum of 3 years. Imagine being a psychologist, only 3 years experience, and you are getting 1.7 million for a job. You have just been in the field for 3 years. You finish your master's today. Next day you are doing your first year, second year, third year. On your fourth year, you are getting 1.7 million rand. Good day, my people. I am so excited today because I've got a featured position or advert or vacancy for a psychologist. I wanted to share this with you in order to show you the salary of a psychologist, because I get this question a lot about how much do psychologists earn, but I also get a question, is psychology worth it? Because I saw some people on social media asking, is psychology useless? And you must watch this video where I speak about whether psychology is useless or not. And I think this video will also answer the same question. In this video, I'm featuring one of the job adverts that I saw of a psychologist, and I want to share this job advert with you just to give you some information so that you can understand the psychology position vacancies, how they work, and also how to analyze or understand an advert. Before I do that, if you are not yet a subscriber, I want you to click on the subscribe button below this video. Share this video with as many people as possible. Let people understand how psychology advertisement work so that they can have an insight and understanding. This job that I saw is advertised by the Department of Correctional Service, and it is called Chief Psychologist Grade 1. Now, what made me to feature this job is because when I saw the salary package, it is 1.7 million rand. Imagine this. This is not even, the high entry. This is just an entry level grade 1. Remember, government has got grade, there's grade 1, there's grade 2, there's grade 3. This is an entry at 1.7 million rand. And when you look at the minimum requirements, you will notice that they want a minimum of 3 years. Imagine being a psychologist, only 3 years experience, and you are getting 1.7 million for a job. You have just been in the field for 3 years. You finish your master's today. Next day you are doing your first year, second year, third year. On your fourth year, you are getting 1.7 million rand. When you see this, you can't even ask the question, why is psychology so difficult to get in? Why? The demand. The reason you see this kind of money is because there's so much demand in psychology. If they don't make it attractive, they will not get any psychologist. If they get a psychologist, they will not be able to keep them. Because psychologists, oftentimes, they don't stay at a job place, particularly if it's not paying well for a long time, because there are many adverts out there. They get jobs often. But also, what is very interesting is that when you look at the whole advert, you'll realize that deputy commissioners, and there are also posts for, there are a lot of deputies, but there's also positions for directors. And you will see there are 1.2 million, others there are, I think I saw others for 1.4, majority there are 1.2 of a director in the same area. There are also other positions for, there's another one, I remember there was another one for director, head of correctional service at 1.2. So even the head of correctional service, the people that will be who will be your line managers, psychology still gets more than them. There's also position for director. There are also around 1.2 Regional head, imagine, regional head, the whole region, you are a head. Psychologist is still above them. There's also area coordinator, and there are also position for social auxiliary social worker at 1.8. What I've also noticed about psychologists is that I think we are one of the highest paid health professions. The only people I think who compete with psychologists are the doctors. The rest of all the health professions, it doesn't matter, physiotherapy, social worker, diet, OT, all of them, none of them come close to a psychologist. So psychologists, the only people who compete us with salaries are the doctors. But even doctors, for them to get 1.7 million, that person should probably be a specialist, should be a gynecologist, a pediatrician. You will not just get a normal doctor just completing 1 year, getting 1.7. You'll probably start them at 8, 9, or a million. At this level, chief psychologist, you are even competing with highly specialized people, you know? So people even in their subspecialty. So this was just to show you that even though we speak about the challenges of getting into psychology, the minute you get there, people, it is worth it. Imagine competing for this position. The way you competed for your master's, you go all out and apply for such a position and say, I want to get in. You know, by the time you get in, I mean, what will make you not happy with this salary? What will make you not happy getting 1.7 million annual salary? One of them, and I want to just share something here. Firstly, I want to show you one of the challenges that people can have when they look at this position. They look at chief psychologist and think, oh, maybe I don't qualify, I'm still new. Look, as long as you've got 3 years, you qualify, you apply. And when you look at the position, you'll notice that they want people who are registered as psychologists in the health professions in a relevant registration category, e.g. clinical, counseling, educational, industrial, research. Already you can see that they want all the categories in psychology. So don't say, oh, what will a researcher do at the prison? What will a industrial do at the prison? Remember, prison have got HR department where industrial majority of them work. Prison have got research, have got data collection. They need to collect data. So researchers can also be relevant. Prison has got educational processes where educational psychologists can work. You know, educational are not child psychologists. They are educational psychologists. They are psychologists of educational processes, and there are psychological effects to them. But also prison have got the juvenile, which psychologists, educational work with them a lot. Clinical psychologists, they are also going to be relevant. Prisoners have got clinical issues that somebody needs to help them with. Counseling, clinical psychologist, counseling psychologist will also fit. So don't disqualify yourself based on your category because you don't know where they might want to locate you. The other thing that I noticed was that immediately after saying that, they also say a minimum of 3 years appropriate experience as a clinical psychologist after registration. Now the question you might ask is that why do they particularly specify clinical, but here at the top it doesn't say chief clinical, and also here on the description it doesn't say only clinical, because some position might be specific, only clinical, only educational. They can specify the category. Most of the time when you see an advert like this, there could be several reasons. One of them could be the person who did the advert or who advertised has no clue about the field of psychology. So don't let that confusion hinder you from applying. You find them no clue. They don't know. I've seen this a lot. I've done a lot of advertisement and I had to correct my own adverts, because when an advert is done by somebody who's not in the profession, it might confuse you. At times, you might find they just used an old advert that was done by somebody who had no clue, and the person who advertised now, even though they're psychologists, they never took time to go through the details of an advert. But the other reason could be people, even psychologists, majority of psychologists and average psychologists have no clue about the field of psychology. An average psychologist, majority of them, they only know their field. I'm a clinical, I'm an educational. They only know their field. They have no clue what other people do. You ask them about the scope of practice, the scope of profession, they have no clue what's the difference. And I want you to have clue. You must watch this video. There's a video which I've done where I speak about understanding the scope of the profession, the scope of practice, the field of psychology. Watch these videos, at least so that you can have clue on issues related to this. Because you might go here, they ask you about the scope. Why did you apply if you are an educational? Why did you apply if you are a counseling? This video will help you just to give you an insight about the scope of practice. So that's one thing that two things I wanted to point out. The other thing I wanted to point out is majority of people, when they see 1.7 million, especially new employees, new graduates, they think the 1.7 million is gonna get into. So what they do, they will take 1.7 million divided by 12 and think the whole I think it will be 144,000 will get into your bank account at the end of the month. That is not so, my brother, my sister. Doesn't work like that. When you see a salary of 1.7 million, I think that at the basic level, what you can do, you can divide it or multiply it by 55%. It's going to be about 932,000, and divide that by 12. That's going to be about 77,000 per month, which is still a lot of money. So this salary, when you look at it, there's going to be, that is why it's written all-inclusive package, which means your medical aid is there, your retirement fund is there, tax is there, and any other deduction that might be included is going to be there. So by the time all these deductions are done, you can expect at least, maybe at the lowest, you get 77,000 in your bank account every month. Tell me if that will not change your life. If that will not change your life. Even if you have car installment of 10,000 per month, you will still drive a decent car. Even if you get a house of 10,000 per month, which you are paying, you will still have a decent salary left. Even if you take your kids to the best school, you can still have a decent salary. You can spend 10,000 on a car installment, 10,000 on a house. You can even buy 5 houses of 5,000 each. You'll still be able to pay them and have a decent salary. I think this should show you that education, hanging in there, getting your master's can totally transform your life with just one appointment. The last thing that I want to tackle is the issue of, when you look at this position, you will notice that it's a re-advertisement. And when you look at re-advertisement, particularly when they say people who applied before, you can reapply. Chances are there, when you see posts like that, there are political issues around them. And when I say political, I don't mean having to do with the government or the politics of South Africa. Internally, there could be issues where there are politics around, unions are involved, they want to put their person on that particular job. There could be other reasons when jobs are not being appointed. Or there could be no politics, it's just the issue of delays. So the person who was supposed to appoint maybe resigned, or there were issues, there was a delay, so they could not appoint for whatever reason. Or sometimes there's a resignation. The person who was a line manager left before there could be an appointment, or there was an issue with an advertisement. They needed to adjust it. Sometimes they can advertise, maybe the money is wrong or the qualifications are wrong. They need to adjust it. I didn't see the old one, and people applied. So there was no, so when they say those who applied, they must reapply, it means there was no shortlisting, which means none of the people who applied before, they were rejected. So you can apply again. Or in other instances, there could be many reasons why a post was never filled, But the other reason could be people applied, they shortlisted, they never found the right candidate. So the post was too high, so they reduced it. So the people who applied, you find they meet the requirements. They did not meet the requirements, but when they reduced the post, the people now who applied before could meet the requirement. That is why they'll ask them apply again, because you are the one who make us to adjust the advertisement. So there could be many reasons why reapply. I usually encourage people, when you see re-advertisement, apply for those posts, because those are the ones where even those who are not well qualified, when I say well qualified, the experience is not relevant enough, the experience is not specific to the department, and they're struggling to find the people, they will compromise and take the ones who look like they can be trained and know the job. So apply even if you meet any of this category. This position, I think it closes on the 14th of October. So it will be closing in 2 weeks time. So make sure that you apply this week. I'm plugging you in. I'm giving you this position. Apply. Get your 1.7 million. Imagine, I'm not even applying. I'm just getting this for you. Apply. Get your 1.7 million and enjoy being a psychologist. Enjoy being a psychologist. So I just wanted to plug you in on this position. And if you check on my LinkedIn page, I have a link to this position. You can just check it there. The documents are there, and then you can be able to apply. I've checked all the documents are there. Check on my LinkedIn. Particularly, there's a student support LinkedIn page that I've done. Check the student support LinkedIn page. It has this job advertised. If you're not part of that page, make sure that you're part of that page. I've advertised this job. I think this is one of the best jobs that you can get. It will give you a lot of experience, but also it will give you a lot of financial security, job security. When you get this one, you'll probably be working there 10 years. And remember, something that is very good about permanent employment, actually employment in general, every time you get into a job, every year, when increases are implemented, you also get an increase. Wherever there's an increase, you also get an increase. So that job that you are seeing at 1.7 million, if you work there for 5 years, 10 years, you might find by the time you leave it, you go somewhere, you are even above 1.8 or you are close to 1.9. So the next job you get, you are at 2 million. So, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities that you can get from just this position that can change your life for the good. So make sure that you check out this position. It is my featured job in psychology, but there are other jobs for social workers and other fields that you can apply for. I just wanted to highlight this particular one so that you know when we say psychology is one of the best fields to be in, it also relates to the salaries that you get. If you enjoy this video, there are other videos which I've done which can help you understand salaries. There's this one where I speak about the salary of a psychologist. Watch this video. I compare the psychology salary with the salaries of other people in the medical field. But there's this one. This one I think is one of the most crucial. You heard me when I spoke about the 1.7, how you break it down. This one will tell you how salaries work in the workplace. If you want to understand salaries before you even work, these are the things that I wish I knew when I started over 10 years ago when I started in employment and I didn't know. Watch this video. It will show you how salaries are calculated. When you see an advert with money, you need to understand how does it work? How do I grow my salary? Things like that. Watch these videos. They will help you a lot. Friends, let me stop there and encourage you that you continue living life to the fullest. I hope you apply, you get in, work on that CV, make it the best, make it stand out. Positions like this, you need to stand out on your CV. Apply like you're applying for clinical psychology or master psychology program. Work on a CV, let it be thorough, let it speak to the position. Show that you are the best and get this job. Your life will never be the same. Let me leave you. Continue living life to the fullest.